Well, we're, of course, still digesting all of this Jussie Smollett stuff, this whole debacle. So let's get into what has happened, what transpired yesterday. The Cook County Assistant State's Attorney has come out and basically read the bond proffer, which she just kind of provides the evidence that the state is presenting. And so just so everyone knows, we have surveillance videos, we have bank records, we have cell phone records, we have store receipts, we also have witnesses that provides evidence that this could have been a corroborated attack. This could have been
the thing you're forgetting too is the check, the paper check.
That's the bank records.
Yeah, but like, how did he think? I don't know. It just seems like such a dumb criminal thing to do. I don't know how he thought that that couldn't potentially come out, and it's not for very much money either, considering what these men had to risk. $3,500 to potentially go to jail. I mean, not a smart move.
A lot of mistakes here. He clearly thought there was going to be a camera that was not facing in the direction he thought it would to capture this, backs turned, to stage this whole thing. That was one of the things that stuck out to me. You're going to pay somebody in hush money to the tune of $3,500. That ain't going to keep anybody quiet for more than a week, especially with the money he has. What was so enraging to me on a lot of levels was the fact that, and I did like that Superintendent Eddie Johnson said this, is the fact that the noose and what it stands for and what that's meant to our lineage and our history and the symbol of hate and death and murder and just ugly and evil.
It felt a little bit lower than low. It felt a little bit lower than the worst.
To try to profit off of that for a guy who's making a fantastic living. Now, again, this is all only is what he's been accused of. But yet still to say, for my own personal gain, I'm going to climb on the backs of our people who have been persecuted, have experienced real racism. And I'm not talking about just the ones who've truly been victimized to this degree. All of us. This sets us all back. LGBT, black, everybody. This is the man who cried wolf, and it hurts everybody. And for him to say he was dissatisfied with his salary, 98% of the world are dissatisfied with their salary. Who's going to this length? I'm furious about this whole thing.
It's just really interesting, this whole debacle, just how it's being covered, just how everyone's tuning in. I actually went to the nail salon yesterday, and they are Korean, and I heard Korean language, and then I heard Jussie Smollett continuing with more Korean language. So it's just interesting how like everyone is tuning into this and paying attention to this, and I just don't know if how long or if he'll be able to rebound. What do you think?
No, and I'm curious too to see what's going to happen with Empire, as we saw with Roseanne not too long ago. She made a few wrong moves, but she made one very wrong move, and the show was canceled. You know, they went in a different direction with the spin-off of that, but I'm kind of curious what's going to happen with Empire. It has not yet been renewed for the 6th season, and you know, it's kind of going strong, but this he's basically the 3rd most important character on the show, from what I understand.
So 2 days ago, Fox came out and said that they are in full support
of
what they had Smollett.
Before
yesterday, the tune changed. They're now saying that we're going to examine our options and see how we need to move forward.
It's really interesting you mention the Roseanne aspect, because there's a tinge of that, except this is the reality. And Jussie, who likes to think he's the gay Tupac, he's not Tupac. He's definitely not Roseanne in terms of star power. That's what he's trying to do here. Let's be honest. The guy wanted attention. He wanted to be the star that he's not. He's incredibly talented, and it's a shame that he didn't take the talent that he has and possesses as being enough to get to another place in life, because he inevitably might have gotten there. Empire's going to be fine. Look, Empire's kind of losing some viewership, but people still watch. It's going to be okay because Terrence Howard's still there, Taraji Henson's still there. This didn't happen to either of them. The stars of the show are them. He's just another one of the talented brothers. Incredibly talented. I enjoy the show. I think people will continue to watch because of that. I just think for him, you guys asked about the rebound. I don't see how you can rebound from this unless today, because it should have been done yesterday, the days before. It should have never happened. You got to apologize right away and say, I was outside myself. I need to go see somebody. I'm really sorry. I hope you guys can forgive me. He's doubling down still. That's going to crush him in this thing.
He's maintaining his innocence. I think it's just very difficult, and I'm a fan of his, and I've watched him on Empire and his entire family. They're involved in entertainment in Hollywood in some sort of capacity. And so I definitely was disappointed as a fan. He is still maintaining his innocence and saying that, you know, that this happened, which it's just so much evidence. It's so much evidence that the state is presenting So I am curious to see how he's going to be able to get out of this.
And like you said, too, I mean, we all, the day after it happened, we all had the discussion here at the table, and we were all saying how horrible it was that that would happen to him. And I just want to say before we move on to the next thing that no one should feel bad for supporting him and for feeling like, oh, this is a horrible thing that happened to him, because less than 3% of hate crimes are misreported. So no one should live their life in a way where we're constantly accusing someone of this. This is just a very unfortunate situation with this.
And so can I just point out that these are only charges. He bonded out of jail yesterday for $100,000. He'll be back in court March 14th. That's when he's going to enter his plea. So we'll see what happens.
Another angle to this that I thought was really interesting is I know we all watched the press conference when Superintendent Eddie Johnson said, I thought this was a very poignant comment. He said, I just wish the families of gun violence in this city got this much attention.
Absolutely.
So where do you think the blame falls on that one? Is that the media? Because I had a very interesting and intriguing conversation with our Brandon Pope here that said, I thought that was a spin move. I thought that was them trying to make a different statement, whereas he, who's out there covering these stories, says, we'll go to the police, us, the media, and we won't get this much information as readily as we're getting it on this. And that's the frustration.
Issue in Chicago. The murder, the crime solving rate is like less than 20%.
Yeah, because Brandon said, I'll make calls for certain crimes, and I won't get this transparency. With this, because of the stage and because of what it presented, they were giving us all this information. This was presented differently than other crimes of gun violence in this city. And this isn't gun violence, but this is violence. This is a potential hate crime.
And we had a legal expert in yesterday who was saying, yeah, this case is moving much faster because he's a celebrity. Normally, people would be sitting in jail for much longer than him. Obviously, he had the money to pay the bond on this to get out. And it's unfortunate. If it does come out that he did this, which it's looking likely, he should absolutely pay back all the city's resources too.
Yeah, it'll be. Do you think? And we'll have a legal analyst in to talk about this, Xavier Pope, which will be giving us much more insight. Do you think he's going to see, if convicted of this, do you think he'll see serious jail time, up to 3 years is what they're saying?
I don't, up to 3 years. I don't think that he will. I think it'll be more so restitution, more so a financial, something financial that he'll have to pay back. I think, unfortunately for him, I think he's going to be feeling it in his career more so.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably even worse than
I'm not concerned with jail time for him. I think that America is the most over-incarcerated country in the world. We have 5% of the world's population, 25% of the world's population in prison. So I think that we do way too much of that anyway, and we're concerned with him rehabilitating and moving forward.
Yeah, somebody who works in sports, I've seen this time and time again when people make mistakes. The fan base wants to see you apologize before they ever accept you. He hasn't been convicted yet. This is all accusations. But if it is wrong and he does apologize, there's a chance after this. But if he stays defiant like he's been, going on GMA, still saying to this very day, this is the law letting me down, I don't know how you come back from it. It'll be interesting to follow, and of course, we will be doing so.